As a public service to Giles County voters, the Wolf Creek Ruritan Club presents highlights from its Meet the Candidates Forum. This video presents the candidates for Virginia's 21st District in the State Senate.
I am running as an independent candidate. You will know me by the fact that I do not have the glossy brochures on the table, because an independent doesn't have the money of the National Republican Party and the National Democratic Party behind them to tell them what to do, because I'm going to work for you if I'm elected. And so I don't have all the glitz and the glamour, but I think I have the best interests of Southwest Virginia in my heart. I want to tell you a little bit about who I am so you know, and then we'll touch briefly on my specific platform. I grew up in Botetourt County. I went to VMI. Went to T.C. Williams School of Law, came back to Roanoke, worked in the Public Defender's Office, came in the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. One of my ties to Giles County is during the time I've been Commonwealth Attorney, I was appointed Special Prosecutor for the John David LaFawn murder back in the late 80s, the murder of the Virginia Tech co-ed that was found in the well. I prosecuted that case here. Many of you all will remember that. In addition, while I've also been Commonwealth Attorney in Roanoke City, I have also been a 35-year plus high school football official. So I have officiated almost every field within the Southwest Virginia area that our association serves, to include a number of games at Giles, not so much Narrows because they're not part of our association. Now, there's good news and bad news in that, because I've had a lot of good memories from the Giles games, but I was also the referee on the Giles-Glenver playoff game last year, so that's kind of a bad memory. But I don't think the officiating had anything to do with that, guys. I just have to say that. Now, I'm running as an independent. A lot of people, especially Miss Di, Nancy and I, joke around a little bit, and she calls me a turned Democrat, but I want to tell people that I ran for class president, Lord Botetourt, as an independent and won. I ran for president of my class at VMI as an independent and won. I have served in the United States Army for 31 years, retiring as a full colonel in the United States Army. My last tour of duty was mobilization during Iraqi freedom for 16 months. That's put me serving under 8 commanders-in-chief, 3 Democrats, 5 Republicans, all of whom I swore to support their lawful orders. So I think I have a good breadth. Now, my platform is specific. I think to improve the economy, to bring jobs to this area, we've got to have a good highway system. My priority is to see that 81 is expanded. Now, that can be accomplished either through a transportation authority or raising gas taxes. I don't like the fact that I have to talk about taxes, but I was raised in a rural, conservative, Republican home, and my mom and dad taught me if you want something, you got to pay for it. And so you can't just sit around and talk about let's do this, let's do that, without talking about money, because there is no such thing as a free lunch. And I don't mean to make a point, but even when we talk about free tuition, yes, that student might not pay for it, their parents might not pay, but somebody picks up the bill somewhere along the line, and we got to think about that. I am a support. I told you back in April when I wrote the editorial for the Roanoke paper that that pipeline is going to come. And that pipeline is going to come whether we like it or not. That's my position. I'm not wild about it, but it's going to come. And I believe we ought to consider using highway easements. But nobody wants to touch that. Everybody says it's too dangerous. But I would make the point, if it's too dangerous for all of it to share as a part of the highway system, why are the lives of Giles County residents less valuable to put it through their land? I want to fund pre-K education, the expansion of that, so that it's available to everybody through the use of an increase in our cigarette tax. And it's a tax that brings a burden to Virginia right now in the fact of cigarette smuggling, because we're an easy target for cigarette smugglers. And we want our government to ask the prosecutors to come in and prosecute us, so we spend our money on that rather than using an opportunity to make money for pre-K. And last but not least, in one of those slick brochures, oppose Obamacare. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, ladies and gentlemen here today, I would just like to say that I am a fan of accepting the Affordable Health Care Act money. One of the things that brings jobs and brings people to an area is if you've got good, affordable health care. So for those reasons, I would ask that you support me. Thank you very much.
I'm running because we're a very large and diverse district, and I believe we need new leadership who can represent everyone in this district. I want to start by telling you a little bit about myself so that you understand why I'm running and why I'm passionate about the things I'm passionate about. I grew up in a very middle-class home in St. Louis, the oldest of 3 children, and I always dreamed of becoming a surgeon. But we weren't a professional family, so I did not get much encouragement for that. But I was determined. So my senior year of high school, I bought my own Greyhound bus ticket, and I traveled by myself from St. Louis to Kansas City to interview for college. And I was accepted into a very innovative medical school. We went right out of high school 6 years year-round and earned our combined undergraduate and MD degrees. And that's where I met my husband, Kevin. During our residencies, we started a business, a small business, literally in our kitchen, designing and manufacturing medical devices. And we learned a lot during those years. For example, when we started this business, it cost $500 to apply to bring a new device to market, $500. It now costs upward of $500,000. Now, those kind of fees and regulations really crush innovation. We came to Virginia by way of UVA, where I taught surgery, and Kevin completed a gastroenterology fellowship. And it was during that time that he got involved in some remarkable research that ended up proving that stomach ulcers and eventually stomach cancer were not caused by spicy foods and stress, as we had always believed, but instead were caused simply by a bacteria. And we were very excited after many years of working on this project in 2005 when our good friend, business partner, and lead researcher was awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine for this research. Well, as our business grew, so did our family, and we had 3 little children, so I was very blessed to be able to make the decision to stay home with them. And that gave me the opportunity to be deeply involved in our community. Kevin and I raised 3 children in Roanoke. We've been there almost 30 years. And I've been everything from Cub Scout leader and Sunday school teacher to PTA president. I've served on the boards of many schools, including Hargrave Military Academy and Ferrum College. And I want to tell you why I served at Ferrum until I was appointed at the Board of Visitors at Tech. And that's because our mission there was to educate the first-generation college student. And my husband, Kevin, is a first-generation college student. His dad didn't even have the opportunity to finish high school. So when I say I'm passionate about education, it's because I know the difference it's made in our lives and our children's. Currently, I chair Mill Mountain's advisory board. I'm on the board at Hargrave Military Academy, and I'm a proud member of the Virginia Tech Board of Visitors. So I really see serving in the state senate as a natural extension of my service to this community. It's because I've been able to achieve the American dream with a lot of hard work and risk-taking that I want to make sure that every future generation knows that same dream is still available to them. But I sense and really know that a lot of our young people don't think that opportunity is there, or they don't take advantage of it. I believe that our region is rich in potential. We have abundant natural resources, a willing workforce, and world-class universities and research centers. And I believe that we really here in Western Virginia are poised with new leadership to unleash that next wave of innovation and entrepreneurial spirit. Now, first of all, I'm not a professional politician. I'm a wife, a mom, a surgeon, small businesswoman, and a civic leader. My priorities are straightforward: job creation and job retention in this area. We can't let jobs keep leaving not just the 21st Senate District, but Virginia. And a lot of that has to do with the business climate that's created by the General Assembly, taxes, regulations. I'm also very interested in economic development. And I believe, as a member of the Virginia Tech Board of Visitors and the Roanoke-Blacksburg Technology Council, that that's going to take strategic regional partnerships. So those are my priorities. I ask that you consider supporting me, and I will look forward to serving you in the Virginia State Senate. Thank you.
Over the years, as your senator, I've had the great honor and privilege to stand on the floor of the Senate and extol the great virtues and beauty of Giles County. It's a jewel, and I've said so numerous occasions. And I have invited often the members of the Senate and anyone else to come and visit Giles County. It's a place you want to come home to, right? And in that occasion, I've been really delighted to have the chance to help Giles County in many ways. But one recent was Joseph Yost and I, was 2 years ago, I believe, when we opened up the new bridge, which I worked on to bring here to Giles County. We were able to pull the wires, the strings, the ropes to shoot, 1860 style cannons. That was fun, right? Were you all there? It was really, and I thought, when this little speech I made, I said, this is the third such bridge in the last 100 years. I was corrected. It's the fourth such bridge in the last 100 years. So I've had the real joy of trying to help any way I can in Giles County. Going back to some of the bigger pictures, Lewis Webb talked about the VPI program, the preschool, Virginia's Preschool Initiative program. I worked on that program. In fact, I put in the first universal preschool legislation 10 years ago at the option of the parents. And guess what? We've made some progress, but not anywhere near enough. It costs a lot more money than we've been able to raise, about $300 million. According to the recent study, just 2 years ago, I put in a resolution to do a study. Is that what can we do to move the preschool forward? Preschool is very, very important. We've learned a lot about the brain and the fact that the child at age 5 has 90% of the brain is already developed. Is so important in a person's development and in a person's future success that the Minnesota Federal Reserve System said the #1 priority to create jobs in the future is preschool. Think about it. Long-term success has to start early. So I've been pushing preschool and, of course, making a college more affordable. In fact, the CCAP program that Lewis Webb also talked about is a program that I worked on. It's the community college transfer program that at Virginia Western Community College is called the CCAP program. And the idea is that when you go to the community college first, you get a scholarship to go to the third and fourth year of college for certain people who get in and so forth and so on. So I've been working hard to make college more affordable, both with the CCAP program, the Roanoke Higher Education Center, and trying to roll back tuition. Tuition is a huge burden on so many people's opportunities to get a college education. Amtrak is coming, all aboard, in 2 years in Roanoke. Is coming into Roanoke, and then 3 years after that, 2020, to the New River Valley. They're already now looking at a place for the depot between Cambria and Radford, somewhere they're whittling it down to maybe 3 or 4 locations, and soon, you can go online, in fact, right now. It's an organization called the New River Valley Rail 2020 program, New River Valley Rail 2020. And you can put in your druthers, where would you like the depot to be, and why would you use Amtrak? So they're trying to get information to help bring Amtrak here. It's coming into Roanoke in 2 years because I got funding 4 years ago for the connector bus. And it starts in Blacksburg Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and in Roanoke every day. It's been a huge success to prove to Amtrak that there is a market. And the big thing was to prove to them there's a market. And they agree, there is a market. So it's coming because of the work I've done. And I think that'll be a huge benefit economically. It'll attract business, it'll attract jobs, it'll attract tourists. And I think being on the main line of Amtrak, all the way up from here to Lynchburg and to DC to New York and to Boston, Can you imagine how important that'll be to us to be on the main line of Amtrak's Northeast Corridor? This is going to be a huge success, a huge benefit, not only for the convenience, but also to bring in tourists. And Tim Sands, the new president at Tech, said half the students at Virginia Tech come from the D.C. area. So this would be really, really important to the students as well. And finally, I'm fighting against the pipeline. No, we can stop it. We can stop it. This is the right stage right now to stop the pipeline. I'm working hard. I'm working hard to do it, and I've already submitted my submission to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission as to why, for environmental and safety reasons, we need to stop it. We should not have the pipeline through here. Thank you. I think I'm through.
This program is presented as a public service of the Wolf Creek Ruritan Club and is not endorsed by any political candidate, party, or campaign. Remember, the future of Giles County and the Commonwealth of Virginia is in your hands. Be sure and cast your vote on Tuesday, November 3rd.